Hey guys, it's Kyle. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do the final thing in the RB Battles event. I'll just call it the finale. And this is really hard. I had a lot of problems with it. Like, I was doing this 12 hours a day for the whole weekend. Well, actually over 12 hours a day. And I finally got it, but I had a lot of problems. Like, for example, it was bugged where it was impossible for me to get it. Basically, one of the steps is there's these symbols that you have to get, and the symbols represent different games that you have to click on, and one of them didn't go into any of the games, but basically you have to find a game that has all those symbols inside it, all the letters inside it. And some people had impossible ones, so I couldn't do that. Then it was fixed, but then I had a problem where I got all of them right for sure, but then it wasn't working. Eventually that was fixed and I could actually put them in, and then it worked. And also I had done all the steps, and I was at the very last step. I was about to complete it. I lost internet connection. So I had to restart it all again, and I was really annoyed, and I had a lot of problems with it. Also, I tried to do this on mobile, but I had some problems because there's a test in it, and I couldn't click the answers for the test, so I switched to computer. But you need all the swords and the winner's wings unlocked. You also need to equip the winner's wings, I believe. And yeah, so then you're going to go to the ship and click F. And this has been nerfed, so it's easier, but you're going to fight these hands. And it's pretty easy since it was nerfed, but I also had like problems on the first day where the ship went very slow, and also when you defeat it, it does a OK sign, but the ship moved very slow. I could only shoot once every like 10 to 30 seconds, but basically you just need to shoot the hands, and they're going to start attacking you. You don't really need to avoid them. You could if you want. You can avoid the attacks if you would like to. There's a health bar for the robots at the top and your own health bar at the bottom. Although I don't really avoid them because you can shoot like crazy, but I recommend holding down your button if you're on computer and holding your finger down if you're on mobile, because then it'll shoot like really fast. But once you're here, you're going to crash, and there's going to be killer robots that you have to avoid. This won't be open for you. I'm going to cut to the part where I show you how to do that. So basically what you need to do is you need to hold out the Sword of Truth in different places, and there's going to be these faces of the hosts with symbols next to them. You have to write them down. This is DJ and the slash, a plus sign, and a question mark, for example. So I wrote down DJ and then the symbols. This is the blue sword. I wrote B and then the symbols. And you're going to have to combine them. I'll show you how in a second. But just find all of them. There should be 8 of them. And write them all down in notes, and you're going to have to decode them, and I'll show you how to decode them as well. But once you find all of them, you should probably go into the ship, so you don't get hit by the killer robots. It's safe in the ship. You should also take out the Sword of Healing, so you heal. The green sword makes you go fast, the purple sword heals you, and the blue sword shows different signs. Now this is the order that you have to have them in. You have to find all of the DJ symbols and put them first. You combine all the symbols from DJ and put it first. That's the first game, and there's different games above the ship that you have to click. And so the first game, once you decode the symbols and then figure out what game it represents, you have to click that game for first. So first DJ, then Russo, then Sabrina, and then all the swords. So combine all the codes for DJ, combine all the codes for Russo, combine all the codes for Sabrina, and combine all the codes for the swords. Also, shout out to the person who made this tweet. This is how you decode them. So figure out what letters go for which symbols to decode them, and then there's going to take a screenshot of the games. There's going to be a bunch of games above your ship. I think the games are different for everyone. Also, the code's different for everyone, so you have to do this yourself. But you have to look at the games and see what games have all of the letters inside them, and it has to be all of them. So, like, for example, I'll show up a screenshot of my notes in a minute, but you just need to decode all of them, write them down. Like, for example, I wrote DJ and then the letters, the decoded letters next to DJ. So make sure you do that. And then this is mine. I wrote Sabrina, DJ, Russo, and I put all the things. And there's a space in between them. It's because DJ had two, so I put each one in next to each other, and same for any other ones. Some of them, I guess, weren't written down on there. I think I wrote them down texting them to myself. Anyways, once you decode all of them, you have to figure out what games have all those letters inside them. So, for example, the Swords was Boulder Run, and it's pretty obvious because it totally spells out Boulder Run. Sabrina was Floopy Birds, Russo was Spelling Sprint, and DJ was Cosmic Carts. And you have to put in order: DJ first, then Russo, then Sabrina, then the Swords. So first is Cosmic Carts, second is Spelling Sprint, third is Floopy Bird, and fourth is Boulder Run. And this isn't going to be the same code for you. Everyone's code is different, so anyone else's codes that you see, it's not going to work for you. So you have to do this on your own. And like I said, there's going to be 8 codes, so look around with the Sword of Truth out, and you might die while you're doing it, but make sure you either take a screenshot or write them down somewhere. And sorry, my throat, there's something in my throat. And yeah, that's how you do it, how you decode it. Then once you're done with that, you're going to have to click the games in order. So first I clicked Cosmic Carts, then I clicked Spelling Sprint, then I clicked Floopy Bird, then I clicked Boulder Run. And the wall is going to turn into a platform that you're going to have to go on, and it'll open up. If you leave the game and rejoin, or if you die, the code's still going to be the same. And if you leave and rejoin, you're going to have to click the games again, but if you die, it'll still be open. And once you do that, you're going to have to go onto the platform, and there's going to be an obby, and then it'll teleport you somewhere, and I'll show you in just a second. So now you're going to have to do an obby. Hold out DJ's Sword of Agility. At least that's what I recommend. You don't need to for any of these obbies. You're still able to do it without it. But I do recommend using it because it'll make you go a bit faster and make it easier to get the double jumps and easier to beat the obby. But once you finish the obby, there's going to be a door, and you're going to kind of go into a classroom, and there's a test. This is what I was talking about when I was talking about how I couldn't press the answers on mobile. But basically, there's going to be a bunch of desks, and one of them has your username on it. You're going to sit into that desk, and an old man is going to bring you a test. And you need to get all the answers right, otherwise you'll die if you get any of them wrong. Also, you can't cheat on the same device that you're using to play the game, because the game will know and it'll give you a new test. Because some of these answers you probably won't know. So if you need to cheat, look up the answers, then use a different device than the one that you're on. Because if you're on computer, for example, and you take your cursor off the screen or close the game, then it'll know you're cheating. And if you bring up a second tab on mobile or something, it'll know you're cheating, and it'll say no cheating and give you a different test. So if you need to cheat, for example, if you're on computer, use a tablet or phone. If you're on tablet, use a phone or computer, etc. Anyways, once you finish, the old man's gonna be scratching his head, mumbling random stuff to himself, and you just have to wait maybe 15-30 seconds, something like that. and then eventually he's going to pull a lever. And when he pulls the lever, you're going to fall down a pit, and either if you got all the answers, if you got an answer wrong or more than one answer is wrong, and you didn't get them all correct, then you're going to die, and if you got them all correct, then you're going to fall down here. And there's a timer, so you have to get through this obby and some other things. I recommend using DJ Sword of Agility for this as well. And if you do get hit by the lasers or anything like else, like the fans, then hold out Sabrina's sword to heal you. Also, I like to use Sabrina's sword for the fans just because the fans do a lot of damage, and I don't really need the extra speed for it. Same for these little lava jumps. I like to use the Sword of Healing. Anyways, finish going through those lasers. Like I said, there's a time limit. I think if you run out of time, then it'll probably kill you. Also, don't touch those red lasers because that'll instant kill you. So don't touch those. And just once you finish the lasers, there's going to be another obby. It's kind of like a factory. But go onto the conveyor belts and double jump dive, and I like to use DJ's sword for this as well. You don't need to, but it makes it easier to get these double jumps. Now go up this ladder. There's also these things coming down, sort of stamping things, and if you get hit by them, then it'll squish you and also take away damage. Now you go onto this tube thingy, go onto this sort of cogwheel. I'm not sure what it is, I didn't really pay attention. Then go on to the fan, this cogwheel, and then here's like the last sort of fan thing. I don't know if it's a fan, but it kind of looks like it. Now you go to this little part, and there's a door. It's kind of overwhelming, but it's kind of like Alice in Wonderland. But if you go into a door, you'll become the size of the door that you came out of. And you want to go into this tiny blue door over here. And it's like near this orange door and between a purple and green door. You want to go inside it. If you go into a bigger door, like a big door, then you'll become big and you're going to have to size back down to the same size of the door to fit in. So try not to go into any of the other doors. Now there's these two fans. Just go through the fans. Try not to get stuck like me. And I like to hold Sabrina's sword for the fans and also this next part. Now go down this black pit, and the judges are going to be surprised that you're here. And hold out the Sabrina's sword. You don't need to, but if you want to, you can, because you're going to be going against all the finalists, and the first one's Ashley the Unicorn and doing dodgeball. And the dodgeballs, if you get hit by a dodgeball, it'll hurt you. So I like to hold out Sabrina's sword for this part. Also, the storyline for this is basically the hosts are trying to rig it so that you lose. So they're going to be throwing dodgeballs at you for this part, and they're also going to be doing other things in other parts. Like you just saw, Russo just threw a dodgeball at me. Sometimes you'll get lucky and they'll throw a dodgeball and it'll hit Ashley instead on accident. But just keep trying to hit Ashley with the dodgeballs, and her damage will go low, and then her health will go low, and eventually she'll die if you keep hitting her with the dodgeballs. And if you get hit with the dodgeballs, it'll lower your health, but you can use the Sword of Healing to regenerate it. And it'll also stop you for a second from moving if you get hit. Same for Ashley. Something's in my throat. I don't know why it's scratchy. But just keep hitting her, and eventually she'll die if you keep hitting her with the balls. Right now she only needs one more hit. And yeah, after this you won't really need the sword that heals you yet. Or actually, I think you don't really need it for the rest of the time. But once you win, you're going to go against Hyper and Tiles. Now this one's rigged to make it impossible. So just die. It'll give you a second chance. But basically, they give him a jetpack and he just flies in the air without touching the tiles. And when the timer runs out, it just adds more time. But you'll be eliminated, and then you get a battle back chance against Tanker. And if you lose against Tanker, then you have to restart everything. So you have to win. And Tanker is actually pretty fast. So just try to keep getting little white cubes, because those are boosts and it'll make you faster than him. This I actually lose in this clip, because I'm going to show you what happens when you lose. But you have to you have to run into those little sort of clearish white cubes, and it'll make you a bit faster. And I think Tanker is faster than you in the beginning, so you definitely need to try to get those little cubes. And avoid hitting the bombs, because the bombs, if you hit them, it's going to stop you from moving for a little bit, which isn't good. Also, try not to fall off the track, because if you do, it's going to it's going to take away some of your time. It's not going to kill you, but you're going to be teleported back without speed, so it basically delays a little bit, and if you're ahead of Tanker, Tanker could get ahead of you if you fall off the track. And keep in mind, Tanker also can fall off the track, so it's okay if you fall off it as long as you're way ahead of Tanker, because he can also fall off the track as well. But yeah, also, just so you know, I'm not being this a second time. All this footage is from when I beat it before, because I'm definitely not going through that again. I spent over 12 hours a day for this, and I'm not doing it again. And don't get me wrong, this event was very, very fun. But after the first 5 hours of trying, I started getting very annoyed and started losing my sanity. But yeah, once you lose, it'll kill you and you have to restart, which sucks. If you die or lose against any of the finalists except Hyper, it's going to make you restart. So make sure that you don't lose, except against Hyper. They made it impossible for you to win, so just lose right away when you're doing it against Hyper. Anyways, now I'm going to cut to the part where I did beat Tanker, and then you go against Creekcraft. Alright, so you have to go around 3 laps, and once you do that, if you do it before Tanker, you're going to do this sort of jumping animation, and then you're going to go against Creekcraft in I think it's called Progress Predicament. It's basically the thing where you try to collect as many of these tiles of your color as you can. And in this one, the hosts are going to be throwing these pink bombs that activates some of Creek's tiles. So try to get as many tiles as you can. I think they also nerfed this, because this used to be very hard, this one, and now it's one of the easiest, the second easiest. I'd say Ashley's is the easiest. And I'm not going to count Hyper, though. But you just need to activate them. I recommend holding out DJ's sword. You can also roll to make you go quicker, but I didn't do that just so I wouldn't fall off the cube. I'm not sure what happens when if you fall off the cube. I'd assume that it eliminates you. Also, Creekcraft can sometimes fall off the cube, rarely, but sometimes he might. Which is good for you if he does, but I'm not sure what happens if you both fall off. Maybe it just eliminates you again, or I'm not really sure. But if you get really ahead, at one point I got 300 tiles ahead, I think. But make sure you get very far ahead, so at least when they throw pink bombs, it doesn't affect you too much. And if you get really ahead of Creekcraft, you can just sort of follow behind him and keep collecting all the tiles. So if basically he's not getting any more tiles, and you're just getting more tiles. But I recommend, in the very beginning, get the white tiles, of course, but when there's more tiles that were collected, I recommend that you just don't worry about the white tiles and collect the pink ones instead, because that's both giving you tiles and taking away Creek's tiles. So that's kind of my strategy. I hold out the green sword and just take the pink tiles, try to get very far ahead of them, and eventually, if you're very far ahead of them, you can just trail behind, so any tiles that Creek's picking up, you pick them up after, so it's basically Creek's not getting any. And this one's actually pretty easy. I remember it being harder, like on Saturday, but then Sunday it was very easy, or it was later on Sunday or something like that. I think they nerfed this one because it was pretty hard, and then it became very easy. So they must have nerfed it, but they nerfed a lot of this stuff so it would be easier for people since the race is over. Because all the golden Antlers of Honor has been claimed, and so is the Hood of Champions. But once you win that, they're going to be surprised. They're going to be like, oh, I thought we rigged it or whatever. So DJ's going to throw away the trophy, and you're going to have to do 2 obbies, and then that'll be it, and you'll get the thing. So before the lava is rising, I don't think it rises anymore. But the lava, if you fall into the lava, at least this happened for me once, but if you touch the ground, it's just going to teleport you back to the beginning. There's also lava falling from the ceiling and also like lava bricks. If you touch that, it doesn't teleport you, but it damages your health. So don't touch those. But they nerf this quite a lot because I don't think the lava rises, and you also get sort of checkpoints. Not really. Well, not checkpoints, it just teleports you back to the beginning, but before, if you touched it, then you would just die and you'd have to restart, sadly. Also, these lava bricks were a lot closer to each other before. So yeah, and if you lose a lot of health, then just hold out Sabrina's sword and that'll help you. But avoid the lava falling from the ceiling and stuff. And once you finish that, there's going to be these giant cogwheels that you jump onto. I think these used to spin. I thought they still did, but then this one time it didn't, and I'm not sure if that was like lag, a glitch, or if they also nerfed that, because before it spun and you could fall. Don't touch that little fan thingy. This is sort of similar to the factory one, like this part. So just kind of do what you did for the factory obby-ish thingy. Now you're just gonna wait on these fans. It takes a little while for you to turn, but once you turn enough, go onto this cogwheel right here, then go onto the fan right here, and then you're gonna have to wait a lot now. And I made the mistake of going onto this giant cogwheel. Don't go onto there, otherwise it's just gonna glitch you inside it, and you'll probably have to reset, because that's what happened to me. Because I thought you had to jump on there and you didn't. You have to jump onto here and then up here. And when I was on that cogwheel, I thought you had to jump on that giant one, but you actually don't. And if you do, it kind of glitches you, and you're sort of pulled in. You're sort of pulled into the cogwheel, and I couldn't really get out. So yeah. But once you finish that, there's going to be one more obby. This is the last step. So this is sort of an icy obby. There's going to be this large blue ball rolling after you, so you have to do it quick. Otherwise, if you get hit by it, you're going to die. It's kind of like Boulder Run. All of these mini games are kind of like different. All of these games are kind of like different mini games in the regular game. Well, most of them at least. Like, for example, the boss battle isn't like a minigame, at least I don't think so. So most of them are similar to minigames in the actual game. But this is a pretty easy obby, luckily, since there's something trying to kill you. So just be very quick. I was around this part where I lost internet connection, but once you get there, you're gonna um, go through a portal which teleports you somewhere else. Now you go up like the stairs to heaven, and there's gonna be like this roller coaster cart at the very top, and you go into there, and that's gonna take you to where you get the trophy slash the Antlers of Honor. Um, so just go up the stairs, and then there's this roller coaster cart. It's gonna take you through all the games that participated in this, which is really cool. That's probably like my favorite part, because it took me so long to do this. But it'll be like, it's gonna show the hosts. Here's your hosts. It'll show pictures of last year's season 1 RB Battles event. Show the host different pictures. Pretty cool. And then it's gonna go through the game. So like on the right is build a boat for treasure. And then on the right is Ronald. The left is supposedly Piggy. Although I don't see how it's like Piggy, but I guess it is Piggy. And then there's Parkour Tower, and I really like how it goes through all the games. It's really cool. Jailbreak, and this was really fun. And then when you get to the end, it'll teleport you somewhere else where you get the trophy. The Crusher. The Crusher actually, it seemed very hard, but it wasn't that hard. Like, it took me, I think, the 3rd try to get it. It was a hard thing, but it wasn't the hardest. Not sure what the one on the right is, but the left is Rocket League. Oh, actually, I think the one on the right was Murder Mystery. This is Bloxburg, I believe. Welcome to Bloxburg. This one, I forgot what this one was. Yeah, I forgot what that was. That there's row beats. Build battle. And now you go down a little steep thing and it'll teleport you. And the NPCs didn't render in yet, but it's gonna be clapping. See, now they're starting to clap. If you're wondering what I'm doing right now, I was thinking in my mind, you better clap, because this took me so long. Oh my gosh. Oh hi, Asimo. And it shows all the developers clapping for you, like all the developers that participated in this. And then there's gonna be the trophy, and they're gonna say, congratulations, battler, or whatever. And then you get the trophy. There's the hosts clapping as well. Then you get a badge award, the question mark badge, and you also get the item. And they're all clapping. I took a screenshot because I was just like, finally. And I was so happy when I finally got it, and I couldn't really show my emotions on my face. It was like 6 or 7 o'clock. Actually, I think it was 8 o'clock maybe, but when it was like 5 o'clock, it felt like it was 3 o'clock in the morning, 3 a.m. When it was 5 p.m., it felt like 3 a.m. But I was just so tired from playing this all day. And so, just in my mind, I was like, I was just like very happy, but on the outside, you probably can't really tell that if you were looking at me. And then you also go through a portal. I didn't know this. I was like, what do I do now? And for some reason, I'm just standing here. Come on, Kaya, go to the portal. But there's a portal on the other side. There's the hosts. I knew that there was credits, but I was like, how do I get to the credits? And then finally I figured out that you go through a portal, but for some reason I'm just standing here, so I think I'm gonna cut to the part where I actually figure out I have to go to a portal. Alright, so there's going to be a yellow thing that's a portal. It says, enter this portal, you deserve it. And it's going to roll the credits for all the developers, the hosts, everyone who participated to make this event. And then it also gives you a shout out. And it plays this very epic song during it that Russo sings. And that's like my favorite part of the credits, just listening to the song. But there's all the developers and the hosts and all that kind of stuff. And at the bottom it says, special thanks to you, battler, or something like that. And yeah, here's the final battle developers and all that kind of stuff. But the song's great, and apparently they're going to be putting it on Spotify, the song, which is very cool. Quite excited for that. And yeah, I'm just going to let these credits roll so you can see the credits. But I'm quite excited for when they're gonna put that song on Spotify, because that is a pretty funny song. I quite liked it. And yeah. Now it says, the credits at the very bottom, it says Battler, you. And then it's done, and once the credits are finished rolling, it's going to teleport you back to the main game, and you can check your inventory and see your new item. And I probably wouldn't have worn, like, any of the 3 items anyways. I just wanted to complete it to say that I did it. And, well, I guess I can say that I did it now. But I wasn't going to wear the items anyways, although I do really like the winner's wings and the swords. And I need your help. Should I wear the... I don't know if I said this at the beginning of the video or not, but I need your help. Should I wear the winner's wings or the rainbow wings that I used to wear? Because I remember when I first tried them on, I was like, yeah, these look cool, but I don't think I'm going to wear these for too long. I'll just wear them till the event's over and then go back to my rainbow wings. But now they're starting to grow on me, and I really like them. But I tried on the Antlers of Honor, and to be honest, I think my favorite item of the grand prizes was the default Antlers of Honor, just because the colors. Although I would need to try on the golden Antlers of Honor and the Hood of Champions to be sure. Although, it would be cool to get the golden Antlers of Honor, because then at least you'd have both items. The antlers and the Hood of Champions, all that kind of stuff would be good for other type of avatars and, like, and stuff like that. And for some reason, when I put them on, when I put on the Antlers of Honor, it took off my wings and the other swords, and I didn't know why, but I could probably fix that if I wanted to wear them. I just put on the Antlers of Honor, and then I do the steps to put on all the other items after. And I didn't make a tutorial on how to make the ultimate sword of RB battles, but if you would like me to make a video on how to do that, just tell me in the comments, and I'll show you. And there's the Antlers of Honor. They actually look pretty cool, just they don't fit with my avatar and a lot of other avatars, but there are probably some avatars that would look pretty cool on. But I'm not gonna wear them. Anyways, guys, if you found this helpful, good. I don't know what that was. But anyways, guys, that'll be the end of this video. Till next time, goodbye.